Hello, Drag Collective fans. It's Dr. Vixen with this month's featured artist of the month, Evelyn H. How you doing, sweetie?
Doing good. Doing good.
Now, I know we're a little late on getting this video, and now would you like? Oh, before we begin, I have to give you fair warning. Little disclaimer: someone's gonna get their rocks off in this video. We won't tell you who. We'll let that play out. Anyways, we've had a little trouble getting you on, and are you feeling better now?
Yes. I'm not dying of the COVID anymore, so we're good.
Okay, thank God. All right, now you're one of our younger performers. You have a little bit more than a year with us. I gotta ask, and I think everyone wants to know, is what made you want to start doing drag?
Oh, man. Okay. So, ever since I was little, I've wanted to be a performer. But I have always been too afraid to actually go out there and do anything. So when I got older, I'm older. When I got older, you kind of start to stop being worried about looking dumb or screwing up in front of a bunch of people. And I started going to drag shows when they were doing them at the Hay Camp. I was working backstage, helping people get their outfits on, helping with hair, whatever anybody needed. And then I was stage kittening every now and then. And I would always be watching the performers, and I'd be like, I want to do that. I really want to do that. And then finally, one of my friends coaxed me into creating a character and brought me to you, as a matter of fact. And so I got real excited once I was accepted to come and perform with you guys. And I started preparing for my first show.
Now, we got to talk about that first show, because I do remember that. Now, would you like to tell our audience a little bit about how you were feeling that first time around?
Oh, man. I was, gonna die of anxiety and nervousness.
For the record, thank God you didn't. Okay, that's the last thing
I gave it my good shot.
That's the last thing I think any of us need, is to explain to the ambulance and to the authorities what happened there, because I don't know about you, but it's going to be a little hard to explain. Wow, it was their first time?
We don't know what happened, just kind of died.
This has never happened to me before, you know. I'm just saying, this has never happened to me before, and I'll just leave that one at that, but anyways.
I was real nervous. I was. But once I actually got out there and started to do my performance, I was good to go. You know, it was kind of one of those, if I screw up, I screw up. Big deal, you know?
So how did you feel after everything was done? After your first performance, after you got through it, how did you feel?
Well, I mean, the first thing I felt was super hungry and tired. I expended a lot of energy that night.
For the record, I'm not going to the gutter on that one. I'm just going to leave that one alone, but...
We've got gutter later. We'll explain.
After the rocks commented about how this was never happened before, I think the audience can understand why our mind went to the gutter on this one.
But I felt great. It was I was elated. I was just really happy that I finally got out there and did something that I've always wanted to do, which was to go out there and perform and entertain people.
The good news is, obviously, you've stuck with it, and you've developed some very interesting concepts, and you've brought some very interesting things to the stage. Can you tell me about a few of those things that you have brought?
I think the biggest thing that I've brought to the stage was my hoop. The way that got started was I have dystonia in my right foot. Okay. And it's been being treated for about 4 years now. I get Botox shots in my feet to help the muscles from cramping up and things like that. So I can do things like walk and dance and things like that. But for a while there, I could barely do anything. I could barely even walk. And so I was watching a concert of my favorite singer-songwriter, and she had a girl with a fire hoop.
Tell them who it is, please.
Oh, Emily Autumn. Y'all, she inspired Evelyn.
Yep, you gotta give her a shout out, give her some love.
Yes. She's amazing. I just want to point out, her work is incredible for one simple reason, and it's that every single thing you hear in her songs is her. Everything from the percussion to all the voices, it's all her. She does all of it. So check her out. She's amazing. So yeah, she had a fire hoop, one of her girls. And she wasn't dancing and moving a lot and running around, and I thought, I could do that. I could still do that because I love to dance. And I thought, I could still do that. So I got myself a practice hoop, my very first one. Never start with a really expensive hoop because you're going to throw it and you're probably going to break it. I've learned.
So did you?
I didn't break it, but that's because I got a really strong practice hoop. Real strong. So don't buy yourself a really expensive hoop when you're first starting because you are going to throw it. And so I started practicing with that. And then when I was a little more ready, I guess I wouldn't say I was ready, but once I had a handle on it and I knew I wasn't going to throw it at anybody, I brought it to the stage.
So tell us, now that you have your hoop on the stage, and any of you who haven't seen their performances with the hoop, I recommend you do. It is a great light show. It's amazing. Tell us one of your favorite memories on stage with your hoops.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I think my favorite memory on stage with my hoop is actually the very first hoop performance I did. It was to Control by Halsey, and the theme that I had going for myself for that show was mental health issues, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we were raising money for Wellfully at the time. And that song was sort of one of those, I wanted to share my experience while helping other people with theirs. You know, the kids in Wellfully and stuff like that. And so that's actually one of my favorite hoop performances, even though it was my first and I've gotten a lot better since then. But I think that there was so much emotion behind that performance that is probably my favorite one that I've done.
Now that you've had a year to reflect, do you remember how you were, like, your self-conscious, the concept of yourself? Do you remember how that was when you began and versus now? Would you say that you've grown or lessened?
I would say that I've grown immensely. Just getting things ready for a show, like working on pieces, coming up with new ideas all the time. I try to learn new hoop tricks for every show. My recent one that I just learned is my favorite. It's where you take the hoop and you kind of bring it here and it circles around your back and you catch it in the front again. That's like my favorite new move that I learned. But I try to bring something new every single time, so that's challenging. So I've got that challenge that I'm ready to meet, so like that kind of determination, and then actually getting out there on stage. I wouldn't necessarily say it's always easier, but you build more confidence, and I just really love to be out there and like seeing the faces of the people watching and hearing the applause and things like that.
Oh, I won't lie. I live for the applause as well. There's no question about it.
The applause,
exactly.
applause.
Hey, we're trying to keep it G-rated at this point. Give us a break here.
We're doing our best.
It's not working, but we are doing our best. Okay, so if you have any messages, let's say you could have a message for the younger people who want to start. Okay. What would your message be for them?
I think my message for anyone who wants to start, to get out there, to perform, don't sweat screwing up. Like, that's what always stopped me until I started getting older. Eventually, it's not going to matter so much, but get out there and do the things that you want to do. Like, go out there and have fun and do all of that, because it's 100% worth it. You're going to forget about screwing up, and it's going to be totally fine. I promise.
Well, I've had plenty of my screw-ups on stage. In December, I broke a heel, so here I am on one foot and one heel, still giving it my all, and it's fun, I won't lie. But speaking of fun, it's time to get our rocks off here. So, every performer has a little something different they like to bring or do, and today you've brought us your rock collection. All right,
Yes.
tell us about this little collection of rocks you got going here.
Right. So this is like 10% of my rock collection, maybe. But I brought some of my favorite ones. This is this big chunk right here. This is blue sodalite. And it's a softer rock, but you can tumble it to make some really nice, you could make jewelry, you could make like all kinds of stuff out of it. It's just really gorgeous once it's tumbled. It's pretty now, but yeah. And then Dragon's Blood, it's just gonna be, it's tiny, so it's gonna be real hard to see. Dragon's Blood Jasper is another one of my favorite stones. I have always had a very deep connection to dragons. They've kind of been following me around my whole life, and I've been kind of searching for them my whole life. And Dragon's Blood is an extremely protective stone, and so I carry it with me in kind of a little charm bag. This is purple fluorite. I just really love like the shininess of it. It's a little transparent, so you can kind of see through it. It just has this really majestic feel to it, like you're a queen and it's one of your crown jewels that should be.
Well, let's see here. I want to see that one again. Ooh, that does look pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
It does.
Pyrite. I love pyrite. This is also known as fool's gold. Gold does not look like this when you find it in the wild. It's just so pretty. I just really enjoy the colors and the shine that it has. This is a fluorite, green fluorite point. This was given to me by one of my friends. And then this lovely stone I got at the rock shop in Hill City. This is labradorite, and it looks like an oil slick. Like, if you ever find some, totally get it. It's really cool. If you move it around in the light, it literally looks like you're looking at oil on the ground. It's really neat. And then my favorite stones out of all are one that I'm certain a certain member of our group is going to real appreciate. This is peacock ore.
And we already know who that is, and no, you can't have it.
Not this one.
Tell us about peacock ore.
So peacock ore, you get it around here, like from the mines. And it comes in a variety of colors. You get ones that are red and purple, ones that are green and purple. Like you get, it comes in so many different colors, gold, all kinds of different things. And it's because it's made of so many different minerals that it just kind of has this unique flair to it that I've never really seen in another rock before. And so that's why it's my favorite. I like to call it the Gaye rock, and it just makes me very happy.
It's gay. It's fabulous.
It is a fabulous stone.
Exactly. Why? Because it's a peacock. Okay, so we're going to be wrapping this up here shortly. Is there any message you want to give to shout-outs, messages, or any dumb questions you wish to ask me?
Let's see. Give some shout-outs. Let's give some shout-outs.
Okay.
First of all, I want to give a shout-out to Cynthia here. Like, for just doing such a good job with all of us. Just, like, helping us have a place to perform and have a place like to bring our art and an inclusive place to be. So first of all, shout out to Cynthia. None of us would be here if it wasn't for you. So secondly, I want to shout out to like all of our new members of the collective, especially all of our young members. Like you guys, seeing you guys on stage, watching you guys perform like at the Rising Stars and things like that, getting to meet my new fellow young drag kings and queens. You guys are amazing, and I am so excited to see where you go with your performances. And then a big shout out to like our more senior members of the collective. Because of you guys, I have gained confidence. I have seen you perform and learned. You guys are always helping me with my wig because I cannot put it on by myself to save my life. Like, can't do it. Impossible. So, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being so helpful.
All right. Well, cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
And to a great, successful career. Well, folks, it's about time to wrap it up. I just want to say Thank you very much for watching this episode of our featured artist of the month. Who's your vixen? And see you next month.